How to live a positive life in a negative world. I don't know about you, but this has been a challenge for me, especially the last couple of years. We are faced with so much negativity on the outside that it's really cool to look at how can we change that from the inside. We'll be diving into that on today's episode. So I found in order to stay positive in this negative world, there's three things that can be hugely beneficial to you. The first one is kind of understanding where the negativity comes from. The second is diving into some of the laws of the universe. And the third, so you want to stay tuned for this, I'm going to share just a fun way to play with some of the negativity and turn it positive for you. So the first step, understanding why do we live in such a negative world? Why is it that when we turn on social media or a television, or sometimes conversation with friends and family, that everybody wants to talk about the negativity? I think a lot of it comes from the study I've done to some subconscious original programming. If you think about it, when prehistoric man ran into a negative situation, he would take it as far negative as possible in order to save his life. If a tiger jumped out of the woods at you, you would take off running and go as far the opposite way as possible. And I think at some level as human beings, when we hear negativity, we want to know more because we want to make sure we're protected. We want to make sure we're prepared for it. And so just understanding that a certain level of negativity is always residing. It's always around us. It's kind of like your flower garden in the backyard. It's always going to grow weeds. They're always going to show up. Even around the beautiful flowers you planted, you're always going to have weeds. And so in a world, we're trying to create more positivity, and we just have to sometimes accept that there is negativity. And sometimes individuals do feed on negativity. And the first step is just having that level of awareness, that level of understanding. The second step is understanding that although there's negativity, there is also positivity. And for me, it's really understanding some of the basic laws of the universe. On a scientific level, there's gravity that holds us in place. Everybody understands that one. Everybody agrees. We can't fight it. If I trip, I'm going to fall, right? One that I love talking about that doesn't get as much airtime as maybe gravity or some of the simpler things is the law of polarity. And the law of polarity states that basically there isn't one thing without the complete and exact opposite of it. And so if I understand how that law works, anytime I run into negativity, I can just use it to try to create the opposite. So if I'm dealing with some negativity, I look for positivity. If I'm dealing with some scarcity, I look for some sense of abundance. And literally using this law, I play with the polarity of things. And in every single moment, as I walk this walk and step through these situations, I can choose, I can find the opposite good feeling emotion. About 5 or 6 years ago, I had some challenging events that happened to me. I made some decisions financially that kind of created some burden in my life. I had some close family members, some loved ones pass away from some disease. I had a lot of stuff coming at me that was negative. And in these moments of dealing with negativity, I found some tools to offset that. And I came up with this concept, this mantra, which really is what this video is all about. And it's called Enjoy the Ride. And Enjoy the Ride is this concept of using these laws and saying, okay, I got some negativity coming at me. I've got some heartache. I've got something that doesn't feel too good on the inside coming at me from the outside. And just understanding that even though this negativity is on the outside, I don't have to respond to it in a negative way. I can create an opposite feeling inside me. And Enjoy the Ride is really basically picking that positive feeling emotion in every instance. Now, that's something that takes practice, right? That's not something that's going to come easy for us. It's something I've worked really hard. But in each moment, you have a choice. When something happens, you have a choice to say, I accept this. This is bad, or that's interesting. How can I make this a positive for me? If you like what we're talking about here, if you like the information, go ahead, take a second, click the subscribe button below. Love to have you follow us. You'll get more information from lots of great speakers that are members of the Mountain West NSA. It's a great community, a great group to be a part of, and love to have you keep watching our videos. Click the subscribe button. It's right there. Okay, so we're getting to number 3, and I promised with number 3, we were going to approach it with a fun way to live positively in a negative world. And literally, you kind of got to make fun of it all, right? In order to do this concept, this idea of enjoy the ride, I got to stop being so serious about everything. I got to stop buying in to the negativity. And I got to use some of the things we talked about in step 2, the law of polarity, and saying, you know what? In every moment, I can play with it. I can choose to say, that's interesting. I'm not going to buy into that negativity, and I'm going to look for a positive feeling emotion. And if you really take it to a simple level, and I'm going to really, this is really simplistic, okay, but we're trying to have fun with this. So let's just take a line and draw it right here through the screen. We're going to take a line and we're going to say on this side is negativity and on this side is positivity, right? And at some level, human emotions, negativity all feels the same. Whether I'm angry, depressed, sad, it all kind of feels the same. And on the positive side, joy, love, happiness, gratitude, kind of all feels the same. So if I just want to have fun with this and say, how do I stay positive in a negative world? Well, the negative world's over here in some of this scarcity, anxiety, fear, whatever it is. Anytime I find myself in the presence of that, I'm going to just think about this and say, okay, how can I bounce over to the fun side of it? How can I bounce over to the enjoy the ride, feeling good side of it? And, some of the other videos I talk a lot about gratitude. Gratitude's on the positive side. So even when something negative's happening, I can say, well, the sun came up today, right? And have fun with it. Or I can say, you know what, I'm going to go take a walk at the park and get outside Mother Nature and just feel good in this moment. And so I guess to answer the question, how do I stay positive in a negative world? It's a choice. And it's a choice I make every single day. And I use this little silly analogy in my mind and say, okay, is that a bad feeling or is it a good feeling? If it's a good feeling, I'm just going to lean towards more good feelings. And if I choose more good feelings throughout the day, throughout the week, I'm just going to have a better feeling life. And to me, that's what living positively in a negative world feels like. If you like all this talk about positivity, you might like my other video. I did a video on gratitude. And to me, that's one of the best feeling emotions I can take in any moment. So go ahead, hit the link, follow over there and watch and find out how you can choose gratitude and make it a daily habit. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one.